Ready. Is
All
this
right.
too much light?
No, I think you're good.
Okay, great.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sierra Boggess as Nathan Detroit in the underground, site-specific, in the sewers production of Guys and Dolls.
And I'm Barbara Streisand as the usher at the opening of Sound of Music starring Mary Martin on Broadway.
And this podcast won't run a week. Your bi-weekly musical theater podcast where we talk about musicals. And boy, oh boy, we've been gone for a minute.
We have. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? The
Yeah,
Barbara
it's from
Streisand?
her book where she like
Yeah.
wouldn't let she was like program like hiding her face, giving out.
This motherfucker. I strive to be this bitch. I strive to be her. Before she was anyone, like no one knew who she was. And she said to the world, I put programs over my face so no one would recognize me when I was famous.
Goals.
Goals.
And that's
Real
why
goals.
I hide my face everywhere I go, so no one will recognize me.
That's why I don't leave my house.
Yeah, I can't let people know.
I'm an incel. I am. Oh, did I say incel? I meant intel. I'm a computer processing system.
Great.
Microsoft.
Microsoft, call her. She's ready to go.
I'm here. I've been prepping.
Yeah, she's been
Do
prepping.
do do do. Microsoft.
You've got mail. Oh man. So how have you been, SLee? Since we last had an episode, how's everything been going?
You know, I'm still in grad school.
Yep.
That's still happening. I'm still writing my thesis. Excuse me, my final examination. I'm not allowed to call it thesis apparently. Me specifically. What if I was the only one not allowed to call it a thesis?
Everyone else can, but you?
Yeah, they're giving me like a paper certificate that like if it gets wet, it will dissolve and like I'll no longer have it.
Yeah.
Temporary. Yeah, so I get to do a final exam and not a
Exactly. It's just
yeah.
a certification program. You just get a certificate.
But just for my track.
Yeah, just for you. Everyone else, masters. You,
Yeah.
certificate.
Masters? More like getting there.
Yeah. Here,
Getting
you
there.
get a participation
Yeah.
trophy. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. So that is happening. Uh did we know about we didn't know about Stranger Things last
No, we didn't know about the. Go ahead.
Yeah, I won an award for Stranger Things. I won Broadway World's off. Okay, wait a minute. It's a hard fucking title. Uh, it's not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. And we are getting paid by the word. So it's Broadway World's off. Wait a minute. No, off Broadway. Whoa! It is Broadway World's best performance in an off-Broadway musical.
Bada
Anna Lee
bing.
Mumford as Barb
Bada
Holland in Stranger Things the
bing.
musical. Stranger Things also won Best Musical. We also won for like every single category in technical theater as well. Like we fucking killed it, and I'm
Yeah.
really really proud. I'm especially proud of the Best Musical win.
Yeah, you should be. It was a great
Yeah.
show, and hopefully it'll come back at some point and more people can see it because I saw it 3 times and I had a blast every single time.
You've seen it more than 3 times, but you
Yeah.
saw this past one three times.
I saw the most recent run 3 times, but I've seen it before probably 2 or 3 times in different iterations.
There you go. How are you?
I'm good, you know. I did the grad school audition thing, and that was a time, let me tell you. Don't audition for grad school. It will break you emotionally. But it was fine. I did that, and I've just been kind of working, kind of hanging out, working on some other creative projects. I watched the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre today, and let me
Yeah,
tell
you
you,
Snapchatted me the entire way through it. Let me just pause you there for a second and let me just tell our listeners how what you did to me today. She was live Snapchatting me the entire movie, and I didn't know that's what she was doing. And I got my hair done today, and my hairdresser and I were like looking at my phone like an emergency was happening with the way my phone was vibrating. Like it might as well have been my vibrator just sitting on the fucking table. Like with the frequency of it all. It was insane. And I called her and I was like, "The fuck are you doing? Are you okay?" And then you were like, "Texas Chainsaw Massacre."
No, I watched the new one, and it's definitely the kind of movie you can't watch alone. But the thing is I am dog sitting right now, and so I am alone, except for the dog.
And I live in a different state.
And you live in a different time zone. So I was like, well, I'm gonna live send this to SLee. I gotta let her know what's going on, and it's a fucking ride. It's a ride. Did you watch all of them?
No.
Oh,
I haven't even started because I was at the vintage market.
that's right. You did go.
I went to a vintage market, and then I went to Hooters. It was very gay.
She left this podcast pre-hiatus just being queer. Now she is gay.
Well, she was gay before the hiatus,
Yes.
but she felt comfortable saying queer. She now finally feels comfortable saying gay.
And we love that for you.
We love it. We love it.
I speak for the audience. We love that for you.
I came out to my entire not my entire family, but my mom, my dad, and my brother. I mean, my mom and dad knew post, but I finally came out to my brother, and it was awesome. I'm so lucky. I have the best family in the world. They're so supportive and truly don't give a fuck.
We love the Mustard Clan.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, okay, and
Enough about you. Let's talk about me.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well,
my dad, and I quote, said to me about it, yeah, if I've always said if I was a woman, I'd be gay. I was like, okay.
Fair enough, Dale.
Fair enough. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it is not good. But it's fun. I had a fun time, but it was not good. Similar to the show that we are going to discuss today. That's actually a perfect segue.
Listen to that segue.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre to this show, Diana the Musical.
Oh, Diana, don't you cry for me.
This show is wild.
That is putting it lightly.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to see this show before it closed, like a week before it closed. And I've also seen it twice on Netflix. And I'll probably see it at least one more time because I made my partner promise that he would watch it with me. So, at least once more.
He's going to hate it.
Oh,
he's going to hate it.
He's going to run away from the TV. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
But I love it.
It's one of those that you pop a pill and watch.
Yeah.
And let the ride take you.
It is similar to a community theater production of Sweeney Todd. You just want to put yourself in the mindset to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And you should. So if you don't know, Princess Diana, or Diana the Musical, is based on the life of Princess Diana from the time she was 19 until her, spoiler alert, death.
She dies.
She dies. So maybe that ruins the show for you, but if you don't know by now, I don't really know what to tell you.
I know. Then you are living under a rock with Patrick Starr. But
Yeah.
Patrick Starr probably knows because he's at least watching the TV, okay?
Yeah.
Turn on the TV.
In
Turn
the
on
know.
any program and you will figure out that Diana died.
Yeah.
People love this woman.
Oh, yeah. She was a saint. She was an angel. Well, it was crazy because this year we had this musical, but we also had Spencer, which was like an Academy darling. Kristen Stewart is amazing in it.
Still haven't seen it.
The movie itself was a little weird for my taste, if I'm being honest, but Kristen Stewart is so good that I would recommend seeing it.
I have heard only that about it.
Yeah.
And by that's the only thing. What you just said is truly the only thing I've ever heard. No one else has ever talked about it.
Yeah. I'm actually the only person who's seen it.
Yeah.
I get to decide who's nominated.
You are the Academy.
Surprise, I'm the Academy. So if you would like to send me bribes, gifts, anything like that, I will put my P.O. box in the description for this episode.
Yes.
I will take your money. So let's get into this musical. So, based on the life of Princess Diana, Princess of Wales, the music and lyrics are by David Bryan and Joe DiPietro, and the book is by DiPietro. So, that's great.
When you say Princess of Wales, it's so stupid. But what if she was the princess of the animal whales?
Just imagine her as a whale with her little, like, blonde bob and, like, a tiny little crown.
I imagine her being shot out of the blowhole in, like, a beautiful gown as the opening number starts.
In the black dress.
In the black dress.
In the black dress.
Yes, yeah.
So, that is...
We're actually talking about The Little Mermaid, the musical today.
Surprise. Diana the Musical is The Little Mermaid, repackaged. So it had a pre-Broadway run at the La Jolla Playhouse from February 19th, 2019 to April 14th, 2019. So a cute little run out in San Diego. This production received mostly negative reviews. I don't know why.
I was one of them.
Charles McNulty of the LA Times wrote, "The score is actually closer to commercial Broadway of the early aughts and even more dated style to my ear." So, music.
That's really nice of him to say it that way.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
The music is definitely dated.
Yeah. Well, and the like how every single like section has like 30 runs written into it, but not good runs, like outdated runs, like a basically like a triplet. I mean, a trill, excuse me, not a triplet, like a trill, but a slow trill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of a run.
Yeah. It's very bizarre. So, it didn't get great reviews in San Diego, but they were still like, we're going to workshop it. We're bringing it to Broadway. And then they did. They began previews at the Longacre Theater on Broadway on March 2nd, 2020. It was supposed to open on March 31st, 2020.
Well, what happened?
I don't know. I don't know why the opening got postponed, but it got postponed until November 17th of 2021, like a full year and a half later.
Weird.
Anyway, it closed on December 19th of 2021, so it ran for just over a month. It ran for 33 performances and 16 previews. So
that is... Someone told me the other day, one of my friends in my class told me that she got to see Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark live before they made the changes.
I'm jealous.
And I was like, do you not realize that you saw history? And this is that show.
Yeah.
Like this is the same thing in my eyes.
Absolutely. And so when I had the opportunity to go see it live, I was shelling out my dollars to go see it live with friend of the podcast, Rachel Lend. It was a blast. It was some of the most fun I've ever had in a Broadway theater. And honestly, it was not the worst Broadway show I've ever seen. Not at all.
It wasn't?
It was not.
What was the worst Broadway you've ever seen?
The worst Broadway show I've ever seen is Pretty Woman the Musical. I hated that show. It is so boring to me.
Okay, but like the thing that I think Pretty Woman doesn't have, I don't know Pretty Woman, I'm not listening to the music, I didn't see it, but what I gather from it is that there's nothing memorable about it. Where this has, it's so weird that it is, it's like a B horror movie.
Yeah.
You know? It's almost leaning into the joke.
You know what? There is a review for the Netflix recording because before it opened on Broadway, they filmed a live stage recording without an audience during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it got put on Netflix. It was universally panned by both critics and audiences. The Guardian gave it a 1-star review saying, if it was deliberate satire, it would be genius, but it's not. It's not deliberate.
If it were deliberate satire, it would be one of the greatest things ever to be brought to us.
It would be the producers of its time, but
Yes.
it's not deliberate. So
At all.
At all. And let me tell you, the Razzies came for Diana the Musical. It was nominated for 9 Razzies, including Worst Picture, Worst Director, Worst Actor for, I am gonna butcher his last name, but Ro Hartrumpf, who played Charles.
Hartrumpf?
I am so sorry, Ro.
How do you spell it?
Hartrampf. I think it's like a German name, but
Hartrumpf.
yeah, I can't pronounce it, but Ro.
I think you got close enough.
Yeah, he was nominated. He played Charles. Worst actress for Gina DeWall, who played Diana. She didn't deserve that.
No, that's a shame.
Worst supporting actor for Gareth Keegan, who played James Hewitt. Also unnecessary.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah.
He was great. Worst supporting actress for Erin Davey as Camilla and Judy Kay as Queen Elizabeth / Barbara Cartland, both of which I think were great. I don't think you should come for the actors, if I'm being honest. I think the material's not good, but I think that the actors were doing their best, you know?
Listen, as someone whose one of her goals in her career is to get a Razzie, just saying, that's me. I want a Razzie. I want one. I'll probably hate it. It'll be for the thing that I put the most of my pussy into as well. So, like, that's what's going to be upsetting. Yeah. But, mark my words, I said I wanted it. You have to remember that Sandra Bullock has a Razzie.
She does.
Like, it's not that low of an honor. Like, and she got it for All About Steve. Hold the phone, friends. Hold the phone. I have that shit on my fucking shelf.
On DVD.
On DVD. It is a DVD that I will never get rid of. I love this movie. It is so stupid, and she's fantastic in it. Like, again, it's the writing. It's not her.
Exactly.
And it's upsetting, but listen, she had a great speech for the Razzie. She also won an Oscar the same year.
For The Blind Side, right?
Yes. So, I just say, do not let this defeat you, friends.
No.
Don't let it defeat you.
It was also nominated for Worst Screenplay, and this is confusing to me. Yeah, I think it's the script, but it's weird that they call it a screenplay because it's a stage show, but this is the weird Razzie that they were nominated for. It's Worst Screen Couple for any klutzy cast member and lamely lyricized or choreographed musical number. That feels a little harsh. Like, let's not come for the ensemble.
That is really... ouch. Like, golly.
Yeah. Like, mean.
That's mean.
Yeah, mean and for what? Like, yes, the lyrics are not good.
See, and like, again, I feel like the Razzies are meant to be done in... I don't know this for sure. Like, this is me guessing. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the Razzies are done in... good fun, you know, of like, this is like, this was, because Pretty Woman the musical, if filmed, would not have even been nominated for a Razzie.
No, it wouldn't have made an impact.
Right. It is those films that are just so not gonna win an Oscar, but we all like, it's like cult classics.
Exactly.
And so I feel like they gave a special award to them because they were like, okay, but we also have to talk about this like weird ensemble pairing with this thing, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And this show, I think, is confused about what it wants to do with its ensemble. They're
That's putting it lightly, friend.
they're doing like a light Evita where the ensemble is narrating the action, but like not, because they're also not at some points.
This show is stuck
I think-
between like three different musicals. Like, it doesn't know
Absolutely.
if it's Cats, Evita, or Rent, or Legally Blonde.
Yeah, it could be any of those
Any of
four
these.
just squished together. And it's a blast. So
It is a
I'm gonna
blast.
Get into the,
It's a
I'm
blast.
going to get into the synopsis. I wrote this myself, so I want full credit for this.
Yes.
I'm very proud of myself.
So this is just a quick moment to just say this. From now on, we are no longer going to be reading the Wikipedia pages. We have decided to quote myself, put our full pussies into it, and we're gonna write our own synopsises from now on. Synopses. And Kat is taking the lead and being the first one to do it. So I was gonna say be gentle, but I don't even think we need to be, because
No.
I think it's gonna be great.
It's
And I'm excited to hear
If
your
you-
version.
if you don't like it, don't tell me. I'm sensitive.
Tell me though. Tell me.
Yeah, tell SLee, but don't tell me. All right. So, the show opens in 1980. Diana Spencer crosses downstage and sings Underestimated, and we're supposed to believe that this beautiful blonde woman has been underestimated her entire life. You know,
Yeah. Well, you know the world discriminates against beautiful white people.
it's true. It's hard. It's hard being such
Really
a beautiful
hard.
person.
Oh, it's so hard.
Oh my God. So, as she's singing that song, we learn that she is at a party being thrown by Prince Charles. While she's there, enter Miss Camilla Parker Bowles, who is Prince Charles's mistress / BFF. She's like, oh, well, the prince is really taken with you. And Diana's like, oh, that's really nice. Okay, thanks. Not really thinking too much of it. Then that scene ends. Next, we see Queen Elizabeth, and she is just riding Prince Charles' ass. And she's like, you need to get married. You are 32 years old. Stop calling me mummy. I'm the fucking queen. I know I'm your mother, but like, you're 32.
Mummy.
You're 32. Get a wife.
Get a wife, get a life. Okay?
Yes. He brings up Diana as a possible wife, even though he recently dumped her sister, Sarah, which is honestly bold of him to be like, you know what, I'm going to go for the sister.
We should have known where we were going when this occurred.
Yeah, honestly, Diana, think ahead.
Yeah.
The queen agrees that she's a good fit and he should start courting her, but everyone, the ensemble, is like, this is the worst job in England. Like, she's gonna fucking hate it. And they're right. She is gonna hate it. Charles sends Diana a necklace, a beautiful necklace, and he's like, will you accompany me to a performance tonight? And she's like, oh my gosh, yes, I will. Because she's had a crush on Prince Charles for her entire life. This is her Jonas brother. This is her Pete Wentz. This is her BTS. Robert Pattinson. This is her, like, childhood crush. Now imagine if your childhood crush sent you jewelry and then invited you on a date. You would say yes.
Listen. Yeah. Like, I had nothing else to say.
Yeah, absolutely. So she says, yes, it's going to be a cello performance. She's like, cool. Guess who else is there? Camilla.
I'm just remembering where we are in the musical.
Camilla is there, and Diana is starting to get more suspicious about her and how close she and Charles are. While the performance is happening, Diana, who is bored to tears over it, does not want to be there, imagines a rock concert that is the cello performance, and it's this really weird moment in the show where she's like sitting and like singing and like Wow, I wish he was Elton John. Wow, I wish he was
Freddie Mercury,
Freddie
right? Isn't that one?
Mercury. Yeah, Duran Duran. Like all of these 80s musicians, and then she like has a dream sequence where the ensemble like rips her skirt off and she's got like a shorter one, and there's this really awful dance section.
Not dance section, step section.
It's very
They
it's
do a
not
step number. What?
it's not good. And also, I didn't mention this earlier, but I have to mention it now before I get any further. The person who wrote the music for this show loves I'm going to call them the Glee Ahs, where the ensemble is just like, ah, 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 like background ahs all the time.
And we get maybe a little dun 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 dun.
Why? I don't know. He just does.
For some reason, Don't Stop Believin' is in the show somewhere.
Leah Michelle comes out. We don't know what's going on, but she was like, I'm going back to Broadway, bitches. And no one could stop her. So there she was. So that song, the big dream rock concert dance number, is called This Is How Your People Dance.
Sure, Jan.
Diana is like headed home from work one day. She's a kindergarten teacher, and the press is like hounding her. And this is called Snap Click. And it's honestly a very fun number. The ensemble is doing some fierce coat choreography. And if you watch it, you'll know exactly what I mean.
There was something about this scene that I can't even remember. When I watched it the first time, I was like, what am I watching right now? Like, it was very, we don't reach for the gun.
Yes.
Or both reach for the gun, excuse me.
It's bizarre. It's very bizarre, and she's like freaking out, and she like hides in a phone booth, and she's like, I need to speak to Charles. I'm in trouble. Oh.
And someone goes, Miss Roxy Hart and the press conference rag.
But there is a lyric in this song, and it's better than a Guinness, better than a wank. Oh, it's so bad. But Snap Click, great coat choreography. So Diana's having a rough time with the paparazzi. Meanwhile, Charles isn't sure if he wants to marry Diana.
Classic man.
Classic, typical Charles. The queen tells him he can keep fooling around with Camilla while marrying Diana. She's like, it's fine, keep your mistress, but you gotta marry Diana. So he proposes to Diana. But he tells Camilla that he will break it off if she wants him to. Camilla tells him...
She was like, no, I'm kind of into it.
Yeah. Camilla tells him to go forward. Get married with Diana. It's going to be great. Diana moves into Buckingham Palace, and all of this happens in the song Whatever Love Means Anyway, which is so depressing. Because Diana's like, do you really love me? And he's like, yeah. Whatever love means anyway. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, I love you. I mean,
what is love?
Love you. Baby, don't hurt me, okay?
Yeah. So they get married. This show moves at a breakneck speed because you're fitting like 20-ish.
It gives you a headache watching it because it is just so much information, and they never stop to take a breath.
No, there is no breathing room at all. So they get married in the song I Will, and there is this crazy moment where Diana is singing about like, I'm gonna be a good queen and I'm gonna be a good wife, yada yada yada, and she's in this like white nightgown, and as she's singing, she's like walking around, and you see there's someone who has walked on in like the wedding dress, in Diana's wedding dress. And she's like walking around and yada, yada, yada. And there's someone there. And we're like, how is she going to get in that dress? And she like steps into the dress. And she finishes the song.
Seamless. But like, you're not even describing how magical that moment is on stage.
Yeah.
Because it literally looked like magic. Like, there was a full person standing there because they walked on stage. They were moving. It wasn't like a robot or like it wasn't rigged. You know, it was a full person moving. And then they lifted the veil, and
it's
the
her.
woman who's been standing and singing, it was just in the dress all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And maybe it was I thought it was movie magic, but then you said that it happened in the show.
It happens live on stage on Broadway. And what's crazier is I would be like, okay, like maybe someone like does it and they like hide behind something. No, she walks off in the dress.
Yeah.
So it's not even like a set piece. It's crazy.
So it's not like the rig for Sunny in the Park with George. The top of that one where she steps out of the dress.
No.
Because that is clear. It's a set piece designed into the stage.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I don't know the technical how they did it, but it's a part. It is like a prop. It's like a set piece.
Exactly.
And structure.
I love that dress moment. It's one of my favorite parts
crazy.
of the whole show.
I mean, easily like that could have won a Tony.
Yeah. So after the wedding, Camilla and her husband Andrew, who is also having affairs, by the way, like they know that they're both having affairs, but they're like, you know what? We're gonna try to make our marriage work because two people who constantly cheat on each other, they can do it. If anyone can, they can. Idiots. Diana is going to make her first appearance in Wales, and the people of Wales aren't super excited. They're like, ugh, another royal. Ugh, Prince Charles.
Who the fuck is this bitch? Like, that's the kind of shit they're saying. Like, who does she think she is with that boy cut on her head? Like, what? Like,
they're not into it. But then she says, like, oh, it's like really nice to meet you. And then they're like,
everyone's like,
I love you.
He got an art, does she?
She's
Mrs.
better
always
than...
sit down. We're not gonna pop her into pies.
She's better than those other royals. And like they completely like Prince Charles is like, I love Wales too. Like I was crowned here and I can't wait to be your king someday. And they're like, yeah, Charles, you're blocking our view. Fucking move out of the way.
And he said, no.
And he's like,
no,
that hurts my feelings.
Ouchie.
So everyone falls in love with her. Camilla breaks off her affair with Charles. So Charles is having a rough go of it right now. But things are looking up for him because Diana's like, I'm pregnant. A baby Charles. I'm going to have your baby Charles. So Diana's like, I'm pregnant. And he's like, oh, yes, we're going to make this marriage work because I'm going to have a baby with this woman. Hell yeah. Boom, William is born. Boom, Diana has postpartum depression.
In the same song, she's like, oh, I'm having a baby Charles too. I want to kill myself, Charles. Like,
yes.
It's insane.
In this song, she's like, I'm gonna have a baby. She has the baby. We get the incredible lyric that they cut from the actual live production, but it's in the cast recording and it's on Netflix. And it's Prince Charles. He sings, darling, I'm holding our son. So let me say, jolly well done.
And I said it when we watched it. I'll say it again. I will say it again. Mm-hmm. It is his delivery that makes that line so fucking awkward.
Yeah.
There is a way to do that line where it's like, it's a bad joke, but it's a joke.
Yeah.
You know, it's jolly well done. You know, like you did it. It's like that's as much as I can say.
Yeah.
But he just said it so blankly in a way that I was like, y'all are just getting through this, I think.
Yeah. And you know what?
I mean, I get it. But
we've all done bad shows before, and sometimes you just gotta work your way through it.
Sometimes you just gotta get to the end of the show.
Exactly. So after she has William, she overhears Charles on the phone with Camilla saying that he will always love Camilla. And she's like, you're in love with her? What the fuck? And then he gaslights her. This is only
Typical
one
man.
Of many instances where he is gaslighting the shit out of this woman. She's super hurt. She's super depressed. She goes to the doctor. The doctor is like, and this is still in the same song, by the way. She goes to the doctor, and her, like, sister and the guy who's with her are like, she's super depressed. And the doctor's like, yeah, it's postpartum depression. And they're like, well, what happens when she's gonna have her other baby? And he's like, it's gonna get worse. And then she has her other baby, and it does
And then
get
she
worse.
goes, a baby child.
It does get worse. We do get a really, look, Gina DeWall is working her ass off in this show. And
Yeah.
there is a vocal, like, thing that she does in this song that just scratches an itch in my brain. And she's, like, belting this, like, wounds heal, but scars can last forever. It's just, she's like,
Forever.
I'm not doing it justice.
It's the straight tone for me. Forever.
But she's, like, killing it. And she's, like, you can tell.
The mirror?
It's like right before she's crossing to the mirror, and it's like, I need a prince to save me from my prince. Just one of many instances where they are rhyming words with the same words. And then she's so depressed, she tries to unalive herself by punching her fist through a mirror.
I just like,
and that's how the song ends.
I also, the way they do it in the Netflix is so stupid. Like, it is so stupid. It is so funny. It is like, my jaw dropped when I watched it. I was like, no, they did not just treat this moment like that. But they did.
And they did. And then they move the set piece off. Doctors come in. They put little bandages over her wrists, even though
Because that's
international symbol for
suicide.
I want to end it all. Even though she only punched one hand through it. But okay, sure. So she's in the hospital.
One punch for both children.
Yeah, boom, boom. She's in the hospital. She's like so depressed. She's so sad. And her sister is like, you need to fight back. Like, Camilla fucking sucks, and you need to fight back and get your man back. And she
said, I did. I just punched a mirror. I fought as hard as I could.
I did my best. So Diana decides, you know what? Sure. I want to become super involved in charity work. Like, I need to do something that's going to make me feel like I am important and what I do matters. And she does. And she becomes incredibly popular with the people of her country. Everyone fucking loves her. They already loved her. Now they love her even more. She decides to do a surprise performance at a ballet gala. And this actually happened. I had to look this up because I was like, there's no way that this happened and I didn't know about it. It's real. She, during this, like, I think it's the Royal Ballet, she has been, like, secretly rehearsing a number with one of the male ballerinas. And they do this whole dance number. And Prince Charles, fucking livid. He is pissed. He is embarrassed. He, like, storms into Diana's dressing room, and everyone, like, scurries out. And then he tells her that the only thing she has ever achieved in her entire life is marrying him. All you've ever done is marry me. Brutal. Brutal.
That is pretty brutal.
Yeah. Diana is, like, super sad. Diana's just really sad a lot in this show, so... but she's super sad when she realizes that there isn't any hope of actual love in this marriage. It's not happening. And we get the incredible lyric, serves me right for marrying a Scorpio.
I mean...
As a Scorpio, how do you feel?
Okay, I was just writing a note to say this later, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I've never thought about it until just now, but the way he treats her about embarrassing him is a very Scorpio thing to do. Listen, I'm a Scorpio. I get it, okay? But this whole... I'm curious what everyone's astrological signs are, because I think that this is just a archetype play. Like, it is just an archetype musical. Everyone is playing archetypes. But just like they read the back of the archetype card, and that's all the information that they researched. It's like, this is all that this person has for them,
Yeah.
going for them, is this archetype card that's
Their
this
entire
big.
personality.
So they read one horoscope for a Scorpio and said, that is who this person is. And I think that's what they did for every single character in this show.
Probably. I wouldn't
That's
be
my theory.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. So after Diana sings that great song, Charles goes to visit Camilla. Her husband, Andrew, opens the door. Andrew is like not happy, but he's like, "Oh, fucking fine. Camilla, your boyfriend's at the door.
Camilla, your boyfriend's here. Time for dinner.
Yes, it's exactly like that. And Lin-Manuel Miranda shows up, and everyone's like,
Are we surprised?
What is
Are we
happening?
surprised? No, he shows up at the top of Act 2.
So they have a conversation. They're like, I miss you so much. Let's have an affair. Let's have an affair again. And we actually get a really beautiful song, I think, called I Miss You Most on Sundays, which is a song that Camilla sings to Charles. Because something that this show does, I think, very unintentionally, is it is making me root for Charles and Camilla. Like, they just love each other. They just want to be together. Let them fucking be together.
Let them be together, but I'm also like, why did we call it Diana?
Yeah.
If the show was about Charles and Camilla.
Yeah.
Just let it be about Charles and Camilla. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about Act 2 and like why I really feel like, why did we call this Diana?
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin your synopsis. But
no. We'll get there. We'll get there.
When we get to hey, we're at Act 2, can we just hit pause for a second so I can go get something to drink?
Yeah, I'm literally almost there. So
I believe you. I just want to say it as like now that we're at a pause.
Yeah. So they decide, let's have an affair again. Diana is like, you know what? I'm super popular and I'm a pretty girl in a pretty dress. And she's going to push back against the norms of British society and use the press and her popularity, and she becomes even more popular. And in this, the Act 1 finale number, she has 6 costume changes.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It is super cool. And it's every iconic dress that Diana wore. It's amazing.
It's
so it also is, as you described it that way, I was like, so World Burn. Yes. It's Regina George's World Burn.
But
or no. It's not that. It's actually till someone gets hurt.
Yes, I look perfect.
Ice Queen, that's what you see.
Wow. I don't disagree.
Yeah, it's either, depending on the day, it's either of those songs.
Depending on the day or the Diana, it's either. Yeah. So that is the end of Act 1. And we'll pause.
End of Act 1, and we are only at the end of Act 1.
And luckily Act 2 is much shorter.
It didn't feel like it when I watched it.
No, but it is much shorter. And I had to double check this online because I was like, am I getting everything? We are.
Oh my god. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Go get your water. I'm going to keep it recording and I'll just turn this
No, that's
out
fine.
later.
I truly just want to just grab a seltzer water.
Yeah, do it.
Because my chapstick, because my lips are on fire. I think I'm watching Encanto with Jamak after this.
Oh, fun.
I know. Woo. I don't know when he's finished. I feel like we're gonna be finished pretty quick with this episode.
I mean, yeah, I've got Act 2. We've done a lot of conversation already, but a little more, and then
I actually think I like this format though.
Yeah, I do too.
It's working.
There are only a couple of things that I really have to add on outside of what we've already talked about for Act 1, you know?
Yeah.
And then we'll do Act 2, and I assume it'll go about the same. And then, yeah, I like this too. I think I like chatting more throughout.
Well, it makes sense to me to do it this way because we're now reading our own synopses, Snop sneeze is what I just said. So we can it makes more sense to like have our own communication about it, because then we can like the other can add little things that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a lot more of it feels a lot better than our first episode ever when we tried to do it that way.
I agree. All right.
Wait.
Ready?
Wait. No.
All right. Oh, I wish that he were Elton John.
I know, when you said it, I was like, I look like Elton John today.
Yeah, you do.
I'm just like, hold me closer, tiny dance. Yeah.
Ugh. All right, so.
Did you say Tony Dancer?
I started to say Tony Danza. And
I know
then I
you
was
did.
like, oh no, I think she's singing the actual lyrics. And I don't want to sing the funny lyrics if she's singing the actual lyrics.
Just making sure.
Who do you think I am?
Who do you think I am?
You should start doing ASMR with your new microphone.
I can't do ASMR. Oh yeah, I got a new microphone. Yeah. Does it sound good?
I hope.
Y'all, I'm very into it. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. No.
Okay, I'll stop.
Okay, this is quick. Mm-hmm. I will never be able to do ASMR because it feels like porn to me.
Fair.
And it's not because I'm judging people who listen to it. I think it's porn. It feels like porn specifically to me because that's all I'll say.
Well, it's very intimate. ASMR is like incredibly intimate.
It is intimate, but it is something that I don't want to listen to in public.
Fair. There's an
if that makes sense.
There's an ASMR.
Listener, do you get it? Do you hear what one of my kinks are?
There's an ASMR person I see all the time on TikTok, and I have a crush on her. Like, she's just so cute, but she's always whispering, and I'm like, what's happening here? You can't flirt. You cannot flirt with me.
I know.
Over TikTok.
That's the thing.
It's embarrassing.
And see, like, this kind of shit, I'm like, yes, that's nice. It's nice. You start doing shit like this, and I'm like, oh!
or like,
I'm about to bust.
You look so beautiful today.
I'm like, don't you play with me. Don't you play with me.
Fuck up.
The fuck up, you dirty whore. Keep talking dirty to me like that, and I will fuck you. I will kiss you so hard.
I will have a long-term relationship with you, I swear to God.
I swear to God. I will send you chocolates every day, and I will eat you.
Anyway, to Act 2. So, Act 2, we open on Barbara Cartland, who is like very briefly introduced during Act 1, but it didn't feel that important, so I didn't include it. But this is who she is. She's a romance novelist that Diana loves. She also happens to be Diana's step-grandmother. Because
it's
sure.
So weird.
And she is played by the same woman who plays the queen. There you go.
It is easily one of the most entertaining songs in the show. But like,
Absolutely.
I'm such a whore for these kind of songs.
Oh yeah. So she comes down, and it's really funny. It's like she's totally like backlit, so you can't see her. But obviously this isn't Diana, and she like walks down in this fucking pink outfit.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, oh, yeah, who else was it going to be? But it's like, no, you're supposed to think it's the queen.
Yeah. You're supposed to think it's the queen. Oh. Surprise. It's Barbara Cartland. And she's like, oh, it's a real shame. The marriage is not going well. It sure would be a shame if a really hot man who likes to ride horses would show up. What about James Hewitt? And then this beautiful high tenor.
Oh my God,
rises
such a
up
high
out
tenor.
of the stage on a fucking saddle, shirtless.
Yeah, it's insane.
And he is hitting very high notes. And listeners, I love a tenor. It's my greatest weakness.
A
It's
real
what's
tenor,
gonna kill
though.
me. A true, honest to God tenor. Not these like yes, sometimes MT boy tenors, but like this is a tenor.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
a baritone, a tenor. And he's
Tenor.
so hot. I just think he's very attractive. So this is what I wrote. He's a haughty war hero who recently came home and is now teaching horseback riding lessons. That's everything you need to know about him.
Yep, that's literally all you need to know.
Yeah. After some fun horse-based sex banter, he and Diana began having an affair.
Horse-based sex banter.
Yes, he's like, or Diana's like, oh, do you teach riding lessons? And he's like, yes, but I would assume your husband gives you riding lessons. And she's like, oh, he's tried, but he's not very good. And he's like, oh,
And he
maybe.
said, I can lube up and put a Trojan on. And saddle on up and ride you till the cows come home.
Like the line, he's like, well, maybe it's just the wrong horse. Do you think you'd like my horse? And she's like, oh, I think I would definitely like your horse.
Like your hog. I mean horse.
So they start having an affair. Great. Awesome.
We're all like, yeah, we all saw that one coming, okay?
Honestly, but Diana deserves this. She's been through enough in Act 1. She should get a boy toy for a little bit.
Yeah.
So then Barbara Cartland is still on stage, and she starts singing about how there are two affairs happening. Charles and Camilla, and fucking Diana and James, and they're like in separate beds on either side of the stage, and the song is called Him and Her / Him and Her. It's like,
God.
okay.
Like,
Sure.
just what? Like, him and her?
Yeah.
/ him and her. The fucking worst title for a song in the history of songs.
Yeah.
That is so stupid. Be more clever.
Yeah.
Be more clever.
But she comments about how there's more love in these affairs than in Diana and Charles' marriage. And it's like, yeah, Barbara, we're not stupid. We can see that.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
So Diana tries to talk to Charles at this like event. They're dancing together and he is having none of it. His butler has let him know that Diana is having an affair, but he decides he's not gonna worry about it because he doesn't care and he's happy with Camilla, which is like,
Listen, that is refreshing because most times it goes, how dare she? What is he talking about? I'm going to finish having sex with you and then I'm going to go be mad at my wife for cheating on me.
I'm gonna go beat my wife.
And I'm going to go beat my wife.
Yeah, but no, he's like, okay, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah. Finish sucking my dick, then I'm going to go beat my wife.
So he's like, whatever. Diana decides that she's going to go to a clinic for AIDS patients. And there's this whole thing where it's like, you need to wear gloves because that's how it's spread. It's spread via touch. And she's like, I'm not going to wear gloves because that's not true. And I know it's not true. It's a really big deal. It was a really big deal at the time. Yeah. And she bonds with the men. And at first she was like, oh, we'll take a picture. And they're like, no, my parents don't know I'm gay. And then they bond more and they decide, yeah, we'll do the picture. We get one of the AIDS patients comments on her outfit. And he's like, I really like your skirt, but that collar, I'm sick but not blind.
I love it.
Like,
and he says it in such like a cheeky way. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'm sick but not blind. It's like, just read her for filth.
Yeah.
Read her for filth.
It's like, damn.
That skirt is awesome. But that fucking collar, ooh, bitch. I'm sick, but I'm not blind, okay? God has not taken my sight quite yet.
No, it's hilarious.
It is what a you know, those writers were like, I have the funniest line.
No one's
An
ever said
AIDS
this
patient
before.
talking about being gay and being a fashionista.
Yeah.
I can't.
The scene also, Diana's like, oh, I'll send you guys like a box of makeup. And it's like, have
Have you
Sure, I guess.
met a gay man before? Like, not gay men aren't just like, makeup.
Yeah,
Pretty things.
Not every gay man loves makeup.
It is a baffling moment.
It's a weird moment, and it should mean a lot, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. And it's very much giving, will I lose my dignity? Will someone care? Except all of us are like, yes, you lost your dignity, and no one cares.
Exactly. Like, imagine someone, like, setting off a confetti cannon during that number.
Yeah, exactly.
It's, like,
and neon, and there's like a faint distance of a in the, like, because it's an AIDS clinic, so there's a gay club attached, right?
Of course, everyone knows.
That's what it feels like.
It's like a pizza club Taco Bell, or a Pizza Hut Taco Bell.
Yes, it's AIDS gay club. Like, that's what the 80s is trying to tell us.
Obviously, we saw Angels in America. We know how it goes.
Oh my God. It is the most generic brushing of, like, this is what the AIDS pandemic was like, and these are the people who suffered through it. It was so distasteful and so hard to watch, and I hated every minute of that song.
Yeah.
And I will say, some of that was the actor's fault.
Oh, yes. I will agree. I think that in general, everyone who is playing, like, a lead, working their fucking ass off to make it as, like, earnest and honest and, like, heartfelt as they can. Some of the ensemble,
They're getting their paychecks.
yeah. And good for them. I would love a Broadway paycheck.
Girl, I would want a Netflix paycheck. That's what I...
Yeah. So, after that song, Diana finds out that Charles and Camilla go out all the time with their friends. All the time. They're always going to parties at their friends' places, and so she's like, you know what? I'm going to crash this party. So, she's pissed off. She goes to the party, and she confronts Camilla, and they have a fight. They go, like, downstairs. They move, like, these, they look like ballet bars to me, to make, like,
but it's supposed to look like a boxing ring. Yeah, like, it is, listen, the first act was one thing, but the second act is a whole nother thing.
It's a different show.
If we were here, like, listen, most things are here, right? Some are here, some are here, some are here. The general's here. Diana, it starts here. And we just go down. And the second act.
Yeah.
Like,
towards the end of the song, where they're having the fight, we do get a lyric that I love, where Diana sings, "Grab my bag, grab my hat, grab my feeble little husband.
Back the hell out of my way." Like,
it's great.
It is
I love it.
so, like, gutted from other shows. Like, it's insane to me.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. In the car ride home with Charles, he reveals that he knows about her relationship with James and that he doesn't care. He doesn't care. So Diana's like, oh, great. So she goes and she tells James everything is good.
Oh, great.
She goes and tells James, she's like, guess what, buddy? Like, we can be more open. Charles doesn't care. And James is like, ooh.
Oh, no.
I have been stationed in Germany for the next couple of years. And Diana is like, Charles, you cheeky motherfucker.
You cheeky little bastard. Yeah.
And she just assumes Charles has something to do with it. Maybe he did.
I get it.
Maybe he didn't. I don't know.
I bet he did.
I bet he did too.
It's just too convenient there, love. It's too convenient there.
It's a little convenient. So Diana vows to get revenge on Charles. She is like, had enough at this point.
The amount of ballads this girl sings in this show.
She sings like 13
show-stopping ballads. Like, it's like, good God, pick one. Please, for the love of God. Not for us, for her. Mm-hmm. For her.
Yeah. It's like, give this bitch a break. They don't.
Yeah. No.
At all. So She reaches out to a writer who she knows is writing a book about her, and she agrees to give him anonymous quotes talking shit about Charles, Camilla, and the royal family. And she does. She talks her shit, and it gets published in the book, but it's all anonymous, so you can't prove it was her. The book is a smash, like NBC's smash. It is
Written by Teresa Rebeck.
People are gobbling this shit up. Love it, love it, love it. Charles decides, you know what? I'm just going to go on TV and I'm going to tell people about the affair. I'm going to be honest. The queen is like, that's a stupid idea. And he's like, I'm doing it anyway because I love Camilla.
I love Camila Cabello.
I love Camila Cabello, star of Amazon Cinderella.
I love her.
I love her.
Fashion queen herself.
Diana finds out that Charles is going to go on TV, and she's like, not if I have anything to do with it. I'm going to steal the attention away from you. So we get the
Smart
great
girl.
song, The Fuck You Dress, and it's the black dress. You know the one.
But what do they say in the Netflix?
They change it to the FU dress.
But it doesn't sound like that. It sounds wrong. What?
I can't remember exactly what it is in the Netflix, but I know
I think it's the FU dress. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But if their accents make it sound, I can't remember.
Yeah.
There was a line where I was like, oh, like it didn't sound right, you know?
No.
But anyway, it's the FU dress.
Yeah, it's a really weird change because like Netflix absolutely has things that say the word fuck in it, so it's like why
I bet they wanted to keep a PG-13 rating so they had more viewers.
probably.
I bet that's why. Because you can only say fuck one time, I think, for PG-13.
Well, I mean, look, the 10-year-old I babysit, his friends have all watched Squid Game. I don't think a PG-13 rating is going to change anything for people who want to see it, you know?
I guess, yeah, yeah.
But the song The Fuck You Dress, she steals the attention away, and the queen has finally had enough. She is so over it. She's over it, and she's like, you know what? You two are getting a divorce. I'm the queen, I decree it. And Diana meets with her when they agree about the divorce, and the queen reflects on her own marriage in the song called An Officer's Wife, which is just...
Yep. It's a real dud.
It's a real dud. And it's a shame because, I mean, it's Judy Kay. You should be excited. It's just boring. It's a boring song. Diana is excited. She's going to start her own life with her sons, maybe even have a daughter. Like, she is ready. She's like, I'm going to move to America. Everything's going to be great. And then she dies in a car accident. It's
I don't
so,
laugh.
It's not funny, but it's a little bit funny. Like, the way that they play it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit funny. But
the way they handle it, yeah.
Maybe it's because, listeners, if you don't know, there's a different Princess Diana the musical that went around, and it's only been done in community theaters as far as I can tell. So that's what I'm really comparing this to. But I think that the way that they deal with the actual car accident in this show, I think they do it pretty well, or about as well as you can. In the community theater one, you just have Diana singing her song about, like, living her life, and then blackout, car crash sound effect, police siren sound effect, lights up, Diana's gone. Ugh, not great. And this one, you have all of these ensemble members being, like, news reporters, which is, again, like, okay, sure. And they're being like, Diana's dead. Womp womp. And then...
Womp, 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 womp.
Womp womp. And then Diana, you see, like, the flashing of the lights, like, the paparazzi's cameras, and Diana, like, turns around, and it's, like, silent. And she, like, walks back into the, like, flashing lights. And then she disappears. And then the ensemble sings about her life, and...
Yeah,
the show
it's like, Jesus, she's dead. What else do you have to freaking say? Let's go. Let's go.
But the show ends with the cast singing, "The people who change the world are not the ones you think will change the world." And that is Diana the musical.
A cat is not a dog.
A cat is not a dog. Period.
Y'all. A shit show.
It is
A shit show.
Shit show. It's camp, but it's not trying to be camp.
Yes, it is. It's theater camp. There are camp counselors on stage. It's the summer musical that the camp counselors put on. Yes, it is. You're right.
There are like therapist counselors.
Yeah, yeah.
They'd be like, let's talk about it. How did that make you feel?
Yeah. The richest girl at the camp, whose parents make the camp go round, wanted so badly to be Diana, and she was grieving over the fact that Diana is dead and she'll never get to meet her, and so the camp counselors decided to put on this musical as therapy for her.
It's drama therapy. Congratulations. We're all better because of it now. Mental illness gone.
Mental illness gone.
Maybe it's
Ain't
mental
no more.
illness, isn't it? Yeah.
I have it no more.
My thing with this show is I feel like if they had just made a very specific choice and stuck with it, it wouldn't be that bad. If they had a point of view, I don't think it would be that bad.
Yeah, I agree. And their point of view is all over the place. That's the problem. And like it looks like they do have very specific points of view, but about all different times in her life. Like they're on her side in most times, and then other times they're really not on her side. And they're not on her side in the times that they really should be on her side. Which is confusing. They make her a villain. And I'm not saying that she isn't, like, I don't know. I wasn't a part of it. I don't have any fucking idea. But the show is called Diana the Musical, and we're supposed to feel this grief for her at the end, but she is a bitch in the second act. Like, I mean that, like, and I don't want to call like a woman a bitch in like a negative way, but like they write her as a bitch, and they make the audience have more sympathy for Camilla and the prince.
Which is like bizarre because historically people hate Camilla and the prince. Like, I don't have a dog in that fight at all, but if I see Camilla and the prince on the street, I'm not cheering for them.
No.
Not at all.
It's so strange that they chose that path.
Yeah, they really just girl bossed Diana. They were like, she's a boss babe.
But they didn't, because at least boss babes have a backbone. Like, she doesn't even, like, the way she attacks them is high school, like, mean girl mentality, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like I am standing up for myself. It feels manipulative and gaslighting and you can't touch me, I'm invincible. But is he looking at me? Did it work? Is he looking at me? It's that kind of shit.
Absolutely.
And I don't agree with it. I'm like, you're a grown-ass woman and the princess of a fucking country. Like, get your shit together.
You're a mother. Get it
of
together.
Two.
You're a mother of two. Get it
Yeah.
together.
And like, I get that, like, her life was in a place. I'm not over here critiquing Diana herself.
No, this is musical
but the way
Diana.
Musical Diana. The way they wrote the show after she attempts suicide more than once, they make her seem like a crazy person. Like, they really do. They give a very bad look into mental illness and depression and suicidal tendencies, and and women, like, they just give women a bad name in this show. It really, I know that you have a lot of fun in this show, and I agree with you. Like, it's a fun thing to make fun of, but there are a lot of problems with it.
Oh, it is not. I would not say that this is like a woke show. I don't necessarily love the term woke, but it doesn't deal with the serious topics that it is like, this is a thing that happened. It doesn't deal with them seriously. Like, like suicide and suicidal tendencies or ideation is serious.
Yeah.
And it should be treated like that, not like a fucking punchline.
It felt like a punchline.
The AIDS crisis, the AIDS pandemic, is not a punchline.
No. And there's a way with good writing to make jokes in light of such a horrible situation,
Yeah.
but making stereotypical jokes. You might as well have you might as well have made a 9/11 joke. You know, it's like it's a similar like fuck off. Like that's not funny.
Well, I just can't help but wonder, what would the show have been like if they had had a woman writing it?
Very different, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And I don't think I knew that a man wrote this. It makes so much sense. I didn't give a lot of thought, if I'm being honest. But it makes sense why the relationship between Camilla and Charles is so much stronger, because they have sympathy for Prince Charles.
Of course they do. Yeah, no, it needs a woman's touch.
Yeah, so it's not even written through the lens of even Camilla, it's written through the lens of Charles.
Charles is our main character.
Ugh.
It's about Charles. And, like, yes, Diana's there, but, like, it's about Charles.
Well, they've used Diana to clear Charles's name, is what it feels like.
Yeah.
Even if they weren't consciously doing that. It is not a love letter to Diana.
And, like, part of me wants to think that, like, Diana would like some parts, because I think Diana was a really fun woman, and she could absolutely, like, laugh at herself. But, like, I think that the parts, the serious moments that we get are the ones where it's, like, Camilla singing I Miss You Most on Sundays to Charles.
Yeah.
Those are treated with, like, tenderness and care, and Diana...
And they take time to do it.
And it's, like, a soft song. It's an earnest song. And look, Erin Davey fucking kills it as Camilla. She is good.
She's really good.
Good. Yeah, but I think the show should have had a woman on the writing team.
Yeah.
I also think...
I also should have had a British person, like, on the writing team. Yeah. Like, it feels so American. Like, this is, like, it's Americans wrote this. It's
a very American show. I really wish that they had leaned more into the Evita point of view, like, in the storytelling model.
Yeah.
I think that would have been the clearest way to tell the story. And there's a lyric that they repeat a couple of times where it's, you do your duty for your country and your honor. And if I was going to, like, rework this show, that would be, like, my key point. That would be what I would hinge this show on. You do your duty for your country and your honor. You do what is best for your country, not what is best for you. And what we're seeing is two people who are not doing what is best for their country. They're doing what's best for them. Yep. And that's just how I feel about it.
And that's just how I feel.
Do you have any further thoughts, or do you want to get into a little dream casting?
I just want to hit it home that I think that this is such an American... I think this goes to show, like, what American musicals are. And not to say that they're all like this, but this is an example of why people, like, poo-poo on musicals, on American musicals especially, because this is the garbage that we put out, and we feel the right to take a story that's not ours and put it on stage. Yeah. We do not need to write Diana the musical. We should have let someone from her home country write about her. Like,
it's also like, let Diana rest.
Let her rest, for fuck's sake.
Her rest. We've got Spencer. We've had The Crown. We've had this. Like, let a bitch rest in peace. Yeah. Please. Like, yes, it's been like it's been more than 40 years. It's been, some time since she has died, but like that, her children are still around. Her children are still alive, and we need to be cognizant of that. But anyway, let's Dreamcast.
I'm pretty excited about my Dreamcast.
So I only Dreamcast 5 characters.
Me too.
Oh, great. We probably did the same ones then.
I think. Diana, Camilla, Queen, Prince, Prince Harry, oh my God, Prince Charles. I've done that every time I've said his name. And James Hewitt.
Exactly.
Great.
Perfect. Exactly.
Great job, you slut.
You filthy whore. I'm so proud of you.
You did so good up there, you person with T-Rex arms. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything.
So let's start with, I feel like we should leave Diana for last.
Okay, great. I'm really excited about my Diana.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so let's start with James Hewitt. That's,
Okay.
I think, the most obvious, the easiest one.
I only have one person, and it's who it's no question to me who it should be. Oh, am I saying it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Lucas Steele.
Absolutely. That's the
From
only
Great
person.
Comet.
That's the only he is Anatole. It's Anatole.
Yeah. That is the role. And there is no way anyone else could ever sing it either.
No. Besides Gareth Keegan, who played it on Broadway. Which, Gareth, I really cannot wait for you to do Great Comet and play Anatole. I think you're going to be amazing.
Oh, amazing.
I genuinely am really excited for your career to take that turn. Yeah, it's Lucas Steele. It's... Oh, he would be so good. He would be so good.
So good. Wait, pause.
Are you gonna fart?
What if I just bent down and was like,
Just like...
it was like wet, and it sounded like a kazoo. Actually, it was like.
I would be like, you need to probably eat some more fiber. I'm a little worried.
I'm like, I had Hooters, and now my ass is hooty hooing.
Just
hooty hoo. Okay.
Now I have Queen Elizabeth / Barbara Cartland. I'm excited for this one.
I have one again that feels so obvious to me, to the point that I was like, was that her in the original cast? I had to look it up just in case. Kathy Fitzgerald.
That's good. I didn't think of her.
You didn't?
I didn't think of her.
I genuinely could have been like, Judy Kaye was Kathy Fitzgerald. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally see that.
It felt like such an obvious choice to me.
Look, I will say, I'm going to preface mine by saying I think that roles that are supposed to be played by women should be played by women. However,
what the fuck are you about to say?
However, if we're going to lean into the camp, I think that it would be appropriate to cast a drag queen in this role. And the drag queen that I have cast is Ginger Minge.
I'm very into that. I'm very into that.
Especially as Barbara Cartland. Like,
that's the only... God. That's... Yeah. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So I cast Ginger Minge. So I've got...
But, I think that Ginger... The casting this role as a drag queen is actually great, because you can't really, you're not taking the queen seriously in this show anyway. No. And so you don't want a woman to make fun of the queen. You want someone who is... Yeah, I agree with you. It's almost like the reasons I think that we shouldn't put drag queens in women's roles is the reasons that we should put a drag queen in this woman's role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing. Yeah, so I cast Ginger Minge, although in another world where the queen was super tall and thin, I would love to see Christine Baranski. Like an officer's wife. Can you imagine?
My God. Yeah. Yeah. Or like an Allison Janney.
Yes.
It'd be so weird. I would also love to see like Jennifer Lewis.
Jennifer Holiday.
Jennifer Holiday being like, I don't know any of the music, so I can't even make fun, but just her going, hi, yeah.
Oh my God. So the next character that I have is
Sorry,
Prince.
I'm still thinking of Jennifer Holiday doing this role.
The next character I have is Prince Charles.
Okay.
I don't really care about Prince Charles, which is insane because he's basically the lead. But I cast Gavin Creel because I don't care.
Okay, that's the obvious choice. Yeah. That's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
I put Steve Kazee.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm into that.
Very, it would be like his portrayal, it'd be like the, it's guy and girl in Once, right? Those are the characters' names. As guy in Once. Like, it would be a very similar, and he could find heart, and I don't know. I just think that he would actually make me care a little bit.
Yeah. See,
Or Andy Carl.
I mean, this is Andy Carl's role in the show.
Yeah. If he could sing James Hewitt, it would be James Hewitt.
Absolutely, but he can't. It's too high.
In the movie version.
Oh, yes. Well, when I cast Gavin Creel, I was like, oh, well, his role in She Loves Me, it's basically the same thing. So
yeah.
perfect.
No, I mean, that was my first choice, but I was like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, there's something better. And Steve Kizzy is really good. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, I have Camilla next, and I'm so excited about my Camilla choice.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, say yours.
No, you go first.
Okay, fine. So for my Camilla, I cast a young Christine Ebersole.
Ooh. That's great. I want her to come in, though, as her character from Will and Grace. With the shoulders.
Absolutely. Well, that would be part of the show now. I would add that.
Yeah. These were the last ones. The way she's like a stick figure in that, like with her smile, like she's had plastic surgery everywhere, but it's so natural. Hi, Karen girl. Like, I love that. If you guys haven't watched Christine Ebersole's, Christine Ebersole plays Karen Walker's enemy in Will and Grace, and it's in one of the later seasons or like middle of the road seasons, and she and Karen are competing to who is like got the most plastic surgery and who looks the best, and then they convince her, Christine Ebersole, to get shoulder implants, and it is hilarious. Please go watch.
It's so good.
So good. So good. Anyway, I love that. Mine is Carmen Cusack.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When Rachel and I saw it, we were like, we can't wait to see Carmen Cusack play Camilla.
Yeah. However, since we brought up Glee, if Lea Michele was just walking around the stage,
that would be her role. She thinks she's a Diana, but she's a Camilla.
She might be a Diana in this version, though. Yeah. Because she's villainous.
Yeah. I mean, she would sing the shit out of those songs.
She would sing the shit out of it, and she would give it no humanity. And we would be like, yeah, right, I don't like Diana because we don't like, it's hard to make Diana likable in this show. So maybe she's my Diana, actually. In the joke version, I mean.
Yeah. Cool. So last but certainly not least, we have the People's Princess, Miss Diana Spencer herself.
I'm so excited for mine.
Okay. So for Diana, my very first thought, my initial thought, because I'm going to cast my Diana with like heart, because in my production we're tweaking things and we're making her a human. And I
swear to God, if we say the same person, I'm going to fucking shit a brick.
My first thought was a young Kelly O'Hara.
Oh, damn it.
But then I had a second thought. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of pressure now to get
it to be
You're
welcome.
The same thing. But then I had a second thought, because I mean, Kelly O'Hara, obviously a beautiful performer, bring that Bridges of Madison County energy.
Fully.
But then I was like, who is one of the best musical theater actresses around? Jessie Mueller.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so I cast Jessie Mueller.
That's good.
I'd be happy with. Who did you pick?
That's good. A young Jodie Benson.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
You were describing like heart and like the people, like a musical theater princess. Like she is MT Princess, and she is just a human being too. Like she's not. The one hang up is she's not as like classically beautiful as Diana is, but I think that is actually great. Like I think I would love to see her in it, and it would be so endearing. You couldn't help but love her. God, I love her, and her voice, fuck me up.
Another idea that I just thought of, Liz Calloway.
That's who I meant.
Oh, is that who you meant?
What the fuck? Why did I put Jodie Benson?
Well, I mean, she is the Little Mermaid.
That's not who I meant at all. I meant Liz Calloway. God damn it.
You know what?
I'm glad though that you got it from me describing her.
Well,
That is so awkward.
You were describing her, and I was just thinking about the time when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and I cried over Liz Calloway singing "The Story Goes On" in my mom's car.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Liz Calloway would be a beautiful Diana.
I'm so upset that I wrote Jodie Benson because that is who I wanted to say.
Well, there you go. I said it for you. You're welcome. I'm glad I guessed it. I'm glad I got it.
I'm glad
right.
you guessed it too because I would have been sitting here like
Jodie Benson.
And I should have been like, I mean, she is Anastasia, you know?
Yeah.
And then you would have been like, what?
And then I'd be like, Meg Ryan.
Do you mean Meg Ryan?
No, but I actually do think that Jodie Benson would be a good Diana too. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
I know that's
was
not
thinking Liz Calloway.
But, I mean, Liz Calloway. Ugh. I love her.
Fuck it. Eartha Kitt can play it.
Eartha Kitt is Camilla, though.
I know. No, Eartha Kitt is...
I miss you most on Sundays.
I miss you most on Sundays. Oh my god.
Oh man, well that's it for the episode. We do have a couple of like housekeeping things.
Housekeeping.
A little housekeeping. We, by the time you hear this, we will have a Patreon up. And as of right now, we are still figuring out what exactly that looks like. But we will have all the information you will need to know about our Patreon on our Instagram, so you can check it out there. And we're really excited. And I don't want to speak for you, SLee, but I think that we're both really excited about the future of this podcast and like what's gonna happen in the coming months, especially once you're out of grad school. And I think it's gonna be great. I think we've got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, we've got some new little projects coming up with the podcast that we're super excited about. And another thing that you can look forward to, well, never mind. I guess I won't say. Should I say that you can see this, that you'll be able to watch this? Or should that maybe be like a Patreon exclusive?
Maybe that can be a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. Okay.
Yeah, but there's going to be all kinds of stuff on our Patreon for you to like look forward to, and we're going to be very, very clear about that.
Yeah.
On our social media.
Yep. Yeah, just we're both looking forward to it. We've got some cool guests coming up. I'm really excited about the lineup of shows we're going to talk about. We're obviously starting strong with Diana.
Strong and Wrong.
Diana's Wrong.
Musical. But this is our month of flops. So
this is our month of flops.
So the next musical that we're doing,
Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, friendos.
Let me tell you, as two girls who've been watching a lot of Marvel recently,
I'm
excited.
obsessed. That should have been my check-in too. Wow, a lot has happened.
A lot has happened since we last recorded in December. I think that was December. Yeah, so a lot's happened. And it's only been like a month and a half.
Wow.
Time flies.
That's what I get for being a Scorpio.
Yeah, serves you right for being a Scorpio. All right, everyone. Well, we'll talk to you later. So bye.
Bye, losers.